Today I would like to cook you something from my first book. It's actually one of my star recipes and it's this juicy meat with figs. Actually it's a stew, and in Turkey, especially in the Anatolian region, we love stews. Meat that cooks in its juice and the juice is as tasty as the meat. This recipe has relatives from Marrakesh. It's these beautiful tagines, and it's also a relative of Julia Child's famous Boeuf Bourguignon. And what I'm going to teach you is how to cook big chunks of meat. This could be turkey, this could be chicken, this could be ham. How to cook these big chunks of meat in such a lovely way that it's gorgeous every time. First off, the pot that we are going to cook this is very important, and this is a cast iron one with a big lid. The heavy lid helps the juices and the nice smell not to like fly away, so it keeps it inside. That's one thing. If you don't have a cast iron, you can do it in other pots, but the cast iron is best for it. If you have a Tajin, for example, that would also be marvelous. Secondly, the meat. Here I have a fillet steak. I want to have it like 4 to 5 centimeters chunks like this. This is a fillet steak. If you have other kinds of cuts, it will also work, but this is like hero, so I wanted to use the best meat. I cut it in several times like this, but I don't go back and forth, but just one direction towards myself, like this. So, this is the meat. I'm going to prepare rest of the stuff as well. Onions, peppers, red and green, and some carrots. Before I get into the cooking, I just want to prepare everything. I have red onions. White onions would do as well, but reds are more beautiful. I'm going to cut these onions like this and have like circles. Wah! Sorry.
Semicircles.
Semicircles. This time. And for the peppers as well. The best thing about this recipe is it's going to look very posh. It's going to taste amazing, but all the preparation actually takes just 10 to 15 minutes. I cut the red and the green peppers in circles and that's it. I don't peel the carrots, I just scrape them like this, so I don't waste anything. I cut the carrot in half first, and then half again, and half again. Kind of like dicing. Have big chunks like this. Now, this is the only preparation. Now I turn on the heat, but I have to wait for the cast iron come to its heat, so it's going to heat up for 2 minutes and then I can start. While it's getting hot, I want to show you something. It is very important. I'm going to first sear the meat, but I don't want the extra juices to mix up, so I put a sieve and I'm going to put the meat after I sear to this. A bit of olive oil. Here I have a kilo of meat, but I'm not going to put everything in at once. I'm going to put it in 2 turns. I don't want to crowd it. At this point, do not get excited and turn the meat immediately. Let it sit until it browns. In cooking the meat, this brownness is the key. This is the Maillard reaction and it gives the taste of the meat. Now, I turn the meat after one side is brown. If you don't wait for this and just turn it immediately, the meat is going to give its juices away. It's going to have its juices and it's going to be half boiled and half sealed, and that's something we don't want. 4 sides of the meat are going to be cooked. I'm going to put it into a sieve for the juices to drip, and then make the rest of the meat the same way and then continue with vegetables. I turn off the heat because I don't want the oil to burn. I add the carrots and the peppers. This way, carrots and the peppers get the beautiness of the meat like this. It has the brownness, the sugar in the veggies also get caramelized, and it absorbs the taste of the meat. That's really the most important thing. When these get their own shares, about 2 minutes, I'm going to collect them and add them to the meat like this. Opa.
You don't overcook them.
No. And I have lots of garlic, the onions. This is like if you make a fajita or something, same thing. You cook the meat and the juices of the meat helps to increase the taste of the veggies. Actually, I ran out of oil, so I'm going to put a tablespoon of oil. And now the onions also changed color, started to brown, and it's time to add everything back. Now, I'm going to add heaped tablespoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of flour, because I want the sauce to be thick, so I mix it with my hand. And normally when you make it, let's say, sauce, put it on some butter and then the flour and then have it cooked. So what I'm going to do, I close the lid and let it cook in the smallest heat for about 2 minutes. And this will kind of cook the flour and add the taste. While I'm going to wait, I'm going to first put my hot water, and I need some herbs, which is going to, bay leaves would be great, so I take it out from outside. Whoa! As you can see, most of the whiteness is gone. Now the bay leaves can get in. They're so fresh and nice. The dried bay leaves would do, but it's a very nice tree. It can grow almost everywhere in the world. So have a small bay tree home. I have here chicken stock. So I'm going to mix it well like this. Let it dissolve a bit. Meanwhile, I'm going to add a tablespoon of red pepper paste. This goes a long way. And other herbs are teaspoon of dried oregano. If you have fresh, you can use fresh. That would be even better. And for the pepper, these peppercorns are going to give the taste to the meat, and at the same time, they're going to grow in size and become an extra ingredient that will pop in your mouth. And I also add this stock and mix everything well. And the final ingredient is gonna come, wine. Wine helps the taste to get balanced really well. But if you say, Refika, we don't use wine because of our belief systems, it's okay. You can use vinegar, half a glass of wine. But in this case, you can use 3 to 4 tablespoons of vinegar if you like. This actually also balances the acidity of the whole pot and gives it a nice balance. And everything is almost done. So we also have the juices of the meat at the bottom. I'm going to add a nice juice to here so nothing is wasted. And now I'm going to close the lid and put it on the smallest eye of the stove to the minimum heat. The success point while cooking this is not to open the lid in every 5 minutes, because we don't want any juices to get out and lose the balance. So for half an hour, the lid is going to be closed and this is going to cook. Half an hour later, I'm going to add the figs. And I want to show you, these are the figs, are grown in Turkey. These are really good figs. These are really good figs. I'm going to just crack the fig from the middle like this. The taste can get in, but I am not going to ruin the shape. Around the world, you can buy figs in the shape of the fig, or you can buy it in circles. This circle one is not so great. If you can find this one, even it's a little more expensive, choose this one. Because these get dried in a rather different way. This gets dried one by one on the ground or on a place on a rack. These get smashed and dried in a different way. So even by just touching it, you can understand the difference. And they're air dried, so before you use them, don't forget to wash them. Now it's almost time to get the figs in the game. Look at this fig. The honey of the fig is at the bottom part. And now it's going to get the juices of the meat and give its beauty to the meat as well. This will give a bit of sweetness to the stew. If you don't want the sweetness and the saltiness together, you don't need to use it, but it becomes amazing. In Turkey, in East-South Anatolia, there are lots of different dishes made with fruits.
Especially dried fruits.
Especially dried fruits like apricots, like cherries, etc. And this fig is my thing because maybe, you know, we have a lot of fig trees everywhere in Turkey. At this point, if you think that you need some water, you can add it from the kettle as well. The fig is a great fruit with all the little seeds, etc. So when you eat a bit of meat, you're gonna get a bit of seed as well. And even from the time of Fatih the Conqueror, he used to love his meat with dried fruits and some almonds and etc. All those kind of dried stuff as well. So I just wanted to like have a blink to Fatih the Conqueror and wanted you to taste the fig in a different way with meat. So this is a way. If you don't have figs, if you cannot find figs, you can do the stew even without the figs. It's very, very delicious, but with the figs, it's dish for the conquerors. This is going to sit here for an hour and a half, and then it's going to be ready for us to eat. Whoa! Oh. As you can see, didn't lose any water. And look at these figs. They're so soft. Whoa. The juice is so very tasty. And it's not like loose and it's not very thick. It's the right balance. I want to show you what the meat is like. Juicy, and it just like falls apart like this. And when you're eating it, make sure that you get a part of the fig, a bit of red pepper, and have a whole bite with the juice like this.
This is a perfect dish for shamandra.
Yes. Perfect. Make sure that all the meat is coated with the juice. It's so good. Okay, so Burak is gonna eat with me, I guess, huh?
Yes. Not a spoon, I have a dream. Some meat. Maybe more.
We'll never be able to be thin, you know. Yeah. Whoa.
Burak.
Figs. The crunchiness of the figs.
5 floor condo.
You have to make this. But before that, you can subscribe. That would make us really happy. And a little comment.
Yes, thank you very much. Take care.